Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. This is the market update. Which market update? The only one you can trust on YouTube. Not the only one, but we like to think so. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on the alerts bell so you know when we're going live. And if the content helps you out, please drop a like. We are trying to get to 2,000 likes on a video. All right, so let's see who's here on the stream. We have Jojo. Okay, we have Bucky Noir. We have Lincoln, Bulldog, right? Pedro. Thank you. Yes, I am on the mend, mostly. Steven Mind on Crypto, Soli Soul. All right. Right. I appreciate the love out there. We have the Czech Republic, London, Bull Runner is here. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Calgary. Right. All our friends are here from the UK. Right. Bulgaria. Right. Somebody looking for a Celsius update. We'll do everything I can to keep you up on the news here, including the Tether FUD. So don't go anywhere. Why is there green on your shirt? Well, it's a skull. So yeah, it's just a little green. Okay, just a little. It's more like the skull. All right. We have Minnesota, Dallas, Long Island, New York, Leeds, England. Welcome to the show. We have Boston. Okay. We have a welcome back from California. Thank you. Luigi Nika, thank you for welcoming me back. We appreciate that. Switzerland, South Africa, right? SKT Con. Yes, I'm feeling a little better. All right. We have Wisconsin, Chicago, Ireland. All right. He says it's the sickly green. You know what? I like that. Right. Communist California is here. Albania, Leicester, Poland. Right? Northern England, New Zealand up late at night, and Nottingham, along with our friends from Yuma, Arizona, Chicago, Canada, and Montreal. And last but not least, we have our friends in Dubai, right? And someone's coming from their living room. We appreciate that too. All right, people, let's do it. Let's get into your market update. All right. First, we're going to do some news. So let's do that first before we get into all kinds of charts. Okay, now here's the news you didn't know about. So this is a group of guys, kaiko.com, right? Now, they took a look at the Bitcoin derivatives market. And then despite the extremely bearish price action, funding rates on perpetual futures didn't move off their recent neutral trend. If the sell-off was driven by futures, we would have seen a sharper move up. So less futures activity, okay? So it's a lot less than Luna. So Bitcoin went down, but it wasn't driven by derivatives. So what happened? The lack of a move negative in the funding rate leads us to believe this sell-off was spot driven. So who's selling spot Bitcoin at 20K? Elon Musk? Greyscale? Somebody puked a lot of spot Bitcoin at the low. All right. So that could have been long-term hodlers panicking. Interesting. Now, speaking of Greyscale, okay, the Greyscale Bitcoin Trust, or GBTC, right? It's an equity market instrument. It's a trust, So it's a company that holds physical Bitcoin and they have shares that trade. It's not an ETF. That's a different beast, right? This was like the original, right? The original equity market product for people who didn't want to hold crypto. Okay. So GBTC faces a ruling coming up on July 6th, okay, right here, where the SEC will decide whether or not they can become an ETF, making Greyscale the first ever spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, with the way this works, okay, GBTC is dying to have this because the value of their stock is out of whack versus the Bitcoin that's inside of it. So if the SEC decided yes, people with GBTC would benefit, right? However, the likelihood of the SEC saying yes on this, by the way, you know, the SEC may announce it on the 6th, but you can bet the hedge funds are going to know what the answer is early. Okay. So July 6th, a much bigger date than you think, not to mention the fact we may somewhere in here find out who exactly was selling spot Bitcoin. Because when the news comes out that says, I don't know, Whale X, you know, head of corporate technology company X sells Bitcoin, people are going to be like, oh my God, such and such gave up on Bitcoin? Yeah, they did. Okay. Now, Tether CTO refutes stablecoin FUD as short sellers circle. All right. So there's FUD out on Tether again. That's not new. But what is new is that there's FUD out on Tether with a sharp dump in the market. Now let's swing over to tokenmetrics.com. So this is on our analytics page, and I click the sentiment button. So believe it or not, we have like machine learning and AI that's reading sentiment across the board, right? On like social media platforms, which is really interesting. Does anybody other than me think like, you know, like compound ETH in the DeFi system is very positive sentiment and Bitcoin is also positive? Doesn't that seem a little strange with like the fact that, you know, this is kind of feels like a bear market rally? In other words, you know, there's the fear and greed index, but then there's the way we do it where we're looking at sentiment. So isn't it kind of funny that a variation of ETH, right, and Bitcoin went to the top of the sentiment list? It's kind of making me want to like fade that and go, gee, are people a little bit too bearish here? All right. So let's jump into just some tweets, right, from yours truly. Tesla, S&P, and QQQ, beware the failed rally. It's kind of a long story because crypto people are used to immediate settlement of trades, right? But in equities, when you do a trade on the 28th, you don't get the stock until the 30th. Working backwards, if you're a pension fund, right, and you need to buy stocks, because that's why stocks have been pumping, then you need to have purchased that stock by the 28th. So it'll be in your account on the 30th, so you can show investors that you have stock. It's called window dressing. Well, wouldn't you know, after the open this morning on stocks, the last person must have jumped in the pool because in equities, they threw in the toaster, right? As soon as the last guy that bought on the 28th for delivery on the 30th was done, equities failed. And so did Tesla. And we're going to talk more about that. Okay. An administrative note. There is somebody on Telegram impersonating me offering free TA lessons. I guess this is the price of the spotlight. My Telegram DM says, you know, my name, and I will never DM you first. So if you're getting DMs from me on Twitter or Telegram, please be careful. That is more than likely a scam because I do not DM anybody first, right? Just as a way to prevent this. Now, let's go to some GAN work. So keep in mind, now we have ETH and Bitcoin, right, at the top end of their ranges with everybody bullish. That's interesting. 1250 was resistance in ETH on GAN, right? That was, right here in this area. So 1250 was resistance. 1125 is support. If ETH made a convincing break below each of those levels, okay, that would be meaningful. So June 30th and July 2nd show up as big trigger dates. What does that mean? That means on those dates, you got to be careful of a big move happening. Now, of course, big moves can be in either direction, but if you're below support at 1125, that would suggest the move would be lower. Okay. Now, in Bitcoin, 22K, 22.5K is the resistance. So if there's a squeeze, they can take it up to 25. Okay, that's right here. But this 22,200, that's resistance both on an angle chart and on the price time work. So normally I don't go into kind of GAN stuff on the stream, but if you go back and you look at this market, Bitcoin pretty much failed right there, right? The high today was around 21,000. So it couldn't quite get there. And ETH is now below like 1170, and you have to watch 1125. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, for people who are watching this stream like tonight or tomorrow. All right. So with that said, that's kind of like the news update. Let's go to your market update on the PowerPoint. All right. What is the month-end plan? All right. Well, the first month-end plan is to subscribe to our new shorts channel called Token Metrics Clips, where we will be ramping up all kinds of great stuff, right? From content to humor. It's coming soon, so jump on board early. CEX.io, if you're a customer of that organization, we are running a 40% discount on all Token Metrics plans. So check your email for coupons. Also, Token Metrics, remember where we got that great sentiment data from? Token Metrics is now doing a free offer. So if you want to catch that top when everybody's kind of, long ETH and long Bitcoin right before it turns, check us out. All right, let's do some more news recaps. Clampdown and unclear policy prompts crypto exchange to leave India. They do realize that the more they hate crypto in these countries, the more these governments come down on it, the more likely it is people are going to want it. Goldman Sachs downgrades Coinbase stock to sell. Don't you love these guys in equities? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that, right? Investment Bank X says crypto is in big trouble. It's a good thing you have the market update to tell you that way before the investment banks, even though, I used to work at Goldman and I have respect for those analysts and how hard their job is, right? But again, there's also something in me, right? There's part of me wants to go, ha ha. But there's also a part of me that goes, gee, I wonder if Goldman knows something. Because the guys who do this at Goldman, they're smart people. So on one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, we need an investment bank to tell us it's a bear market. On the other hand, you might go, what does Goldman know about Coinbase? Crypto exchange FTX is looking into acquiring Robinhood. Crypto exchange FTX hopefully isn't exposed to Celsius by having their over-the-counter desk take down all of their risk. So hopefully FTX does have enough money for Robinhood, right? Because I'm concerned that there's some market-making desk out there that actually absorbed some of these toxic assets from Celsius. And FTX is one of the platforms and one of the tokens we are watching closely, as in like the little emoji guy with the eyeball, with the glass going, Uzbekistan spares all the mined assets from taxation and bans mining anonymous cryptocurrencies. And KPMG enters the metaverse and invests $30 million in Web3 employee training. So it is good to see that the big consulting firms are working to get corporate America into the metaverse. Now, it's a very important, subtle point here. In the metaverse, is it going to be little guy innovates, big guy wins, right? In other words, are corporations going to pour into the metaverse and kind of take over? Or is it going to be a sort of decentralized way of doing it? What's better in the metaverse, land or the tokens? I get this creeping sense that big guys are going to want to play in the metaverse, right? There are metaverse plays that have done well on this uptick, but that rally fades quick. So yeah, the metaverse is here to stay, but how to play it is not clear. Now, just as a reminder, me and my colleague Jad from the quant department will be on the trading battle tonight. That will be at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and you can tune in at youtube.com token metrics. So the channel you're currently watching, sorry. Right. So we will be doing another stream tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, doing a trading battle. Proceeds go to charity. Now, the market update. Oil is moving up. I thought oil topped. Silly me. Can't even believe I said that. Okay. Oil flushed everyone out, and now it's breaking above 112. And if it breaks above 119, that could be really toxic for Bitcoin, right? Oil up, Bitcoin down, based on statistical analysis we did last year. Again, not investment advice, not exact, but it was really interesting, right? So oil up, geopolitical tension up. Be careful, okay? Be careful. Because consumer sentiment in the United States is basically on a fast track to zero. In other words, people in the United States are more upset now than in any other time in recorded history of the sentiment surveys. So oil up likely means stocks down and risk assets down, as it could crater, as it could create inflation that could crater the economy. Tesla. Okay, we'll go more into this later. So if you had a very little time and you wanted to say, all right, give me the one chart. Give me the one chart that sums up everything that I just need to know. Like, what is the bellwether for risk assets? I think it's Tesla, right? Musk owns Bitcoin, or he did. We'll see. This is the hot stock, period. And if Tesla breaks down, crypto's going to break down harder. So I'm watching 703 in Tesla. 625 is also a relevant area. And I think if Tesla is consistently below 700, you could be looking at a massive washout, because there's no one left to buy stocks. Pension funds are done. Crypto is extremely vulnerable. Everybody decided to get bullish. The entire ecosystem is regrettably insolvent. So if Tesla cracks, all risk assets, including crypto, can crack. So this is an updated Tesla 4-hour chart, right? Tesla attacked a gap, right around 750, right? And now it's turning around and going lower. Okay, this is everybody selling in the gap and at DeMark resistance point at 764. Also, we have up here, tough to see, it's a DeMark 4, right? Which means it's the end of a 4-wave correction. And the next move could be a 5-wave selling climax below 600. Now, Coinbase, as we discussed earlier with Goldman, there's something out there and it ain't no man, or there's some problem out there either with Coinbase or with an over-the-counter desk that's got the toxic assets of Celsius, right? Meaning, Celsius was like, hey, we'll sell you our bad risk positions at 60 cents on the dollar. And somebody may have taken it from them, or there just may be problems at Coinbase that we're not aware of. But Coinbase is below 54, and that could target 25. And that Williams oscillator, remember when I tell you that that gets to zero? You know, that's dangerous. Okay. Coinbase was down 10% yesterday with the market doing okay. So something's going on with Coinbase, and Goldman is pretty much telling you that. Now, let's look at ETH. So something very subtle here. It's kind of a complicated structure, but I've been drawing Fibonacci circles. It's a very outside the box way of using Fibonacci math. And right here, you can see as ETH has moved through the purple Fibonacci circle, that ETH has eventually turned and gone lower. Okay, this break in mid-June was really severe. Now over here, it's been kind of a song and dance, which can happen around technical levels, but I'm noticing the last 2 days, any attempt to get back to that level above 1200, that fib circle line has failed. Okay. So that's not exactly looking good. And then we have total 3, which is total altcoin market cap, total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it seems interesting to me that it was never able to get back above a hidden pivot level at 387 billion. And I'm not even going to tell you what the downside target is if it can't get back above 387. Okay. Safe to say things like Solana, Avalanche, right? All these big cap DeFi names. You know, I know we like them. I know we want to be positive in crypto, but like Solana, you know, we have Apple, Samsung, LG, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. What problem does the $1,000 Solana phone solve? I'm sure it's cool. I'm sure it's got a wallet. I'm sure you can do a lot of great things with it. But is it solving a pain point in the market? And remember, Solana token is not Solana stock, right? So if you announce a new iPhone or a Solana phone, the stock of the company might go up, but Solana's token isn't Solana stock. That was the first thing I saw. I was like, wow, that guy's trying to do a Steve Jobs up there. Too bad it's not publicly traded as a stock, right? So yeah, okay, I get it. It could be positive Solana, but it could also like be a failed rally scenario. Okay, Avalanche, same thing, right? Obviously, they don't have a phone, but I think if Avalanche is below a hidden pivot point at 1860, okay, that could lead to 8. That also fits in with total crypto market cap or total altcoin market cap, right? Okay, here's Solana, right? This is a 4-hour chart. So Solana did this really impressive move from 24 to 42. So it was a little too beat up, and now it's up at the top. And, you know, the positive news has come out, right? So, you know, they bought the rumor, and now they may be selling the fact. So Solana could go to 33. And if that idea about a wave 4 top is right, that means Solana could make a new low, right? So that means you could have a low below 24. Now, it's less about Solana and more about how fast could the market go down. Speed is one of the things that I think could unfold here. And I think this is midday, June 28th. I'm guessing you got about 72 hours to get your book in order. Because if this thing goes down, it's probably going to just disappear. So either we're going to have more of this chop, or if it goes down, it's just going to vaporize. Because whoever's got the toxic assets or crypto collateral that has to be liquidated from this whole, Celsius, Voyager, 3 Arrows Capital, etc., right? If somebody goes to unload that, there's going to be no bid, right? So you got to get your book in order now. All right, Chainlink listed on Robinhood. Wishing my friends with the Link Marines the best. You definitely want to see Chainlink stay above 640. And if it doesn't, well, I'm not going to say it. I will bring up the DeMark work on Chainlink in a minute, but all I could say to my friends on the Link Marines is beware the failed rally. Okay, Ethereum futures. Okay, this is Glassnode's perpetual funding rates. So if you wonder why ETH is so sticky on the upside, it's probably because the futures funding rates are so negative. So you didn't have this problem really in Bitcoin, but I think you have it in ETH. So I'm showing you this because I think if the market's going to get taken out to the woodshed, the first leg down might be Solana and Avalanche, followed by Bitcoin, and then ETH may really go after that. Okay, assuming that happens. I think this is why ETH is holding up as well as it is because, you know, there's a lot of short sellers and hedges out there. So again, you know, the short sellers in ETH may be doing you a favor in giving you a couple days to get ready. Okay, DeFi Perp, right? DeFi futures. So, you know, this is probably tied in with Chainlink and everything else in DeFi 1.0. You know, we've noted that this is the bowling ball OOW. That's called the bowling ball out of a window formation. So, you know, DeFi 1.0 goes down, hits a ledge, bounces up, and then heads for, you know, the first floor. So 23 floors below, you know, DeFi Perp, if it fails at 29.59, the downside target might as well be 0. And I don't like what that Williams oscillator is doing. It's basically in the sell zone. So this whole idea, there may not be anything wrong inside, say, Aave. There may not be anything wrong with Chainlink. But remember, Chainlink aside, but like Aave and these other protocols, even Uniswap, they're governance tokens, right? It's not like, you know, all the collateral inside those protocols could get liquidated and Aave may still be there, but what's the governance token worth? Especially if you have a massive liquidation event in crypto. All right, so ETH, if you want to look at the bright side, may have room to go up to 1,300. So if you're watching this later, if the squeeze and the 3% down move today on June 28th doesn't start a down move, there could be a squeeze to 1305. Now, that's just one level. I had different levels on my GAN work on my Twitter. But if there's a squeeze, you have to just respect the upside. Just respect the fact that people could get squeezed. So 1305 is one level just to keep in mind. Now, back on the attack. This is the FTX token. Okay. A lot of talk by that group I read earlier, Kaiko, that, you know, FTX, their over-the-counter desk may be involved or has, you know, may somehow be working with these people with these toxic positions to try and help them. Now, you know, we appreciate that. We appreciate people in crypto helping people in crypto, but other than Coinbase's stock and Tesla, FTT may be the thing to keep an eye on. Because if FTT is trying to help other people, if they're trying to bail out the whole market and that doesn't work, then it's a disappearing act. And it may also be a disappearing act in their token, which broke a key support point at 26.94. So if FTT is not above 26.94, when you're watching this video, FTT could be a lot lower. So hopefully FTX can go on buying Robinhood and, you know, sponsoring sporting events and making crypto mainstream. But if these guys are in trouble, right, or if these guys are somehow caught in this insolvency tsunami, you're going to know, watch the price of the token. Now, speaking of Coinbase, I've adjusted my completely spurious spreadsheet comparing, you know, Ethereum and Bitcoin with equity market instruments. So this worked like a charm. I was doing ARK versus ETH. So altcoins of stocks versus, altcoins of, crypto like ETH. And then I was doing MicroStrategy with Bitcoin because MicroStrategy obviously has a ton of Bitcoin. Okay, so make fun of me if you will, but since Coinbase was in the news, I took a look at Coinbase back where it was in July of 2021. That's the far left column. It was all the way up at 210 when just about everybody in equities liked it. Now Coinbase is at 52, down 75%. So just for laughs, ETH in 2021 July was 1,700. And if ETH caught up to Coinbase, it was like 970. It would be at 975. So this goes to show you that I believe crypto-based equities are sending very powerful sell signals in this market. So for Bitcoin, I looked at Marathon Digital, right? That was trading around 20 in July of last year. Currently, it's trading at 6.6. Bitcoin was trading at 29 last year. So if Bitcoin did what Marathon, which is the Bitcoin miner, does, it may go to 17. Now, only a technical analyst can get away with this kind of spreadsheet work, but we do need to pay attention to what crypto-based equities are telling us. Now, sometimes that means flexibility. This is kind of a worst-case scenario, right? At least in terms of the relationship between crypto and equities. But it may not be a worst-case scenario if you have, in early July, a payroll number showing pressure, upward pressure on raises, okay? Wage pressure. In Legacy, they call that a wage price spiral, meaning the higher prices go, the more raises people get. The more raises people get, the higher inflation goes. So you got the payroll number, you've got, July 4th, maybe the Russians mailing us a present for America's birthday. You've got the Greyscale decision due to come out or not come out on July 6th. And of course, there's the inflation number on the 10th. Most of the time, crypto is moving well in advance of any of those news items. So be careful with how fast crypto can move. And I actually think you have to be careful if crypto starts moving. There's going to be a tendency to want to cover like last time. Like people are going to go, oh man, I should have covered my Bitcoin at 17. This time, if it goes to 17, I'm going to cover. Now, I have no problem because as I've said on the show, you can never get fired taking profits. But, what worked last time doesn't always work well the next time. And bear markets have a way of duping you. First, they don't go as high as you think. Then you think they're going to stop at a certain support level and they don't. So it doesn't go up as much as you think, or it goes up more than you think. There's all kinds of tricks. What I am telling you is be careful of the speed of the next move. All right? And that is the market update. Okay, so let's go back and check. Okay, check where we are. All right. So I did want to bring two coins to your attention for altcoin overtime. So if we're looking at this is the Woo price chart. Okay. On the token metrics grade, Woo, as you can see, the grade has gone way up, right? But the price, however, it's gone up, but the grade has shot up to 80. Okay. Same thing for Helium. Okay. And Helium also went bullish on our visual trends indicator. All right. So let me see if I can go to that and pull that up, right? Now, here's why this is going to matter. Helium is probably the best fundamental token out there, not investment advice. Okay. They've obviously got a great story. Okay. Now, here you can see the grade for Helium spike up. You can also see on the TA tab that Helium has gone green on the visual trends indicator. Now, this is very simple. When the thing goes green on visual trends and the grade spikes, right, normally there's a dip. So this is the counter argument, or this is the altcoin overtime argument, to be long something like Helium and maybe short something like Avalanche against it. Again, not investment advice. Because if Helium dips like it's dipping now and it finds a bid, Helium could go up. Now, again, you also have to be careful of the failed rally. Okay, but there are altcoins showing up after this rally that are interesting, right? And one of them happens to be something that, we really like. Now, again, we have a lot of indicators. So I just wanted to, again, bring to your attention that people seem a little bit too positive and on Bitcoin and ETH, right? For my tastes, given that, there's an insolvency issue in the system. But, if you're looking for altcoins like Woo Network and Helium, if people buy the dip, and that's if they buy the dip, that could be a great play. And Token Metrics is filled with these type of, hints and portfolios about what altcoins you can use. So if the market does not go down, right, over the 4th of July, then that's a perfect time to take advantage of the free trial and check it out. Now, conversely, and I'm going to be straight up honest with you, if something like Helium cannot go up, then this whole market is going to blow up, because that's the top of the line stuff. Woo Network is a favorite of Novogratz. Now, I know that, Novogratz, Galaxy Digital, I know they gave him a hard time about his tattoo, but, the guy didn't get to be as big as he was because he's stupid, right? So Woo Network also went green, and we'll see if it stays green. There'll be a dip, and it's not a bull market until you can buy a dip. So that's just one of the things that we've got from Token Metrics, and you should check that out, because, again, if the top of the line stuff goes up, awesome. If the top of the line stuff doesn't go up, then you got to look out below. Okay. Kevin Anderson says, be in cash. This is just the beginning. Buy these coins for pennies on the dollar. Okay. Somebody giving me love from Sydney early in the morning. Thank you. Appreciate that. Should we be worried about the Hadron Collider on July 5th? Well, sir, honestly, I can tell you you'd worry about everything on July 5th based on what I got from my GAN work. Okay. Somebody's saying Helium to the moon, right? Somebody's waiting for 14K to 10K BTC before buying anything. Okay. Huckleberry Native said, what did Coinbase do? I don't know. Goldman just decided to downgrade the stock. Now, sometimes investment banks do that after it's already down a lot. So they can't have a hold rating on a stock that could collapse, or, they know something about what's going on. Okay. Okay. So someone's asking what our opinion on the Adam and Eve pattern on BTC. I'm not familiar with that pattern, but I will Google it when I'm done. Okay. Robert is saying, Avalanche laugh out loud says it's all going down, says Jack. Robert is like, Solana to $10. Oh no. Okay. All right. So somebody was asking, when do we hit bottom? Okay. I think we hit bottom when everybody's liquidated. And that's either going to be now. Like, one of the things I'm seriously considering in crypto, based on what I'm looking at, is that and I know no one wants to hear this, but you would be better off with a crash than a winter, right? You'd be better off just taking this thing and going, okay, you know what? We're just going to reprice the whole market for the insolvent system. Or we're going to liquidate the bad collateral. Boom. Now, if you get that, you get a crash and not a winter. If whoever is out there is trying to hold up a broken market, then you get winter. We all got to sit around and watch it do nothing. Now, that's good because your friendly neighborhood technical analyst, might be able to take a couple days off, but obviously I would rather have volatility than not. So, if they prop up the market, you get winter. If they just give the whole market an enema and do it down to like 9K Bitcoin, then you can get a V bottom. Okay, PAX, token metrics, watching this like a hawk. Right now, PAX is not doing anything for me. Okay, it went bullish, then it went bearish. Now we're sitting here waiting to see if there's going to be a buy signal on our visual trends indicator. All I can tell you is the day this goes green, you will see this as the first chart on the stream. Okay, you will see it. All right. So we got some requests coming in here. Let's go through some of the DeMark work. Okay, let's start with Chainlink. We promised that. Man, Chainlink DeMark point at 666. Huge spike up through it, failed rally. I kind of feel bad for the Link Marines on this one. Okay. Avalanche, kind of the same thing, right? Ran all the stops up here at a big point at 21 and then failed. Okay, let's go to Cardano. Okay, so this is a 90-minute chart of Cardano. I think I'm moving everything to like 4-hour charts now. Okay, so you got support around 46 cents, right, for Cardano. Unfortunately, this 4 up at the top here, that means like it did in Solana, right? You have 1, 2, kind of a short 3, a 4 wave, and then there could be a new low, a 5 wave down. Now, I know Cardano Nation does not want to hear that. I get it. Okay, Zcash, speaking of, I want to hear it, but I don't want to hear it. I want to hear Zcash is going to weekly support at 25 so I can buy or lower, right? Because I'm buying Zcash for my kid's personal account if it gets down that low or they destroy Bitcoin. Either way, right? Zcash on a 4-hour chart, again, not looking so good. Okay, because you have this you have this A, B, C correction, and now you have the trend resuming. So, this type of price action, the rally was corrective, right? The rally was corrective, right? Now, near, again, okay, A, B, C. Remember how I told you those C waves are a nightmare? 350 to 440, that's kind of a nightmare. Okay. So, that's it. That is not necessarily a good look when you have an ABC correction and then you have basically that whole thing unwinding, right? Okay, so MATIC on a weekly chart, you've got the 9 bottom, okay, and you've got the counter trend rally, and that's always kind of bad news when you get the counter trend rally and it fails. Okay, so when you start seeing this type of price action, particularly across all the smaller altcoins, right? You know, you don't want to see MATIC below 50 cents. Okay. Okay, let me do one more. Okay, 4-hour chart of RMRK. Now, okay, that's not coming up there. So let's try RMRK over here. Okay, so you have the daily chart. Let's go to an 8-hour chart. Okay, so when you get these big spikes, right? Went right to where it was supposed to stop, up at 485. So you've got downside risk there. Okay, so let's wrap it up quick. The down move could be faster and furious. Okay, the down move could be fast and furious. You got 72 hours to get your book adjusted. If the market's going to go up, great. You got more than 72 hours, and you may get much higher prices if there's a surprise positive announcement, like the SEC in the middle of a crash allows a spot Bitcoin ETF. Okay, but the way this is trading, you got 72 hours, because after all this quiet action, it's like the calm before the storm. So you could wake up one day, this thing could be down 25%, because again, the crypto ecosystem, unfortunately, like the finance lending part of it, is insolvent, like 2008 in equities, right? The big short. Now, I hate talking this way about crypto, but this price action speaks for itself, particularly since on June 28th, there was a failed rally. This thing started off okay with equities, and then boom, it just all went. So going out today, equities are down 2%, right? 2%, with Bitcoin and ETH both down 2%. Okay. So, you know, Stephen, we appreciate you out there. Thank you very much. Right. You know, we appreciate everybody who supports the stream. All right. We appreciate everybody who supports the stream, and we appreciate everybody who's watching and hopefully hitting the like button. Now, just one quick question before we go. Did Stephen have a question, or was he just giving us some love? So Health Plan was asking about Tesla. All right. So I know I just wrapped up the stream, but let me unwrap it up and go back to Tesla. And this will be it. Okay, so Tesla below 700 is bad news. Okay, 698. Okay, not good. And there was a lot of resistance at 752. I think Tesla could be the bellwether for all of crypto, believe it or not, because Musk owns Bitcoin. And I know somebody was upset that we didn't do Solana. We actually did, but I will put it up, because this will be the last chart of the last chart of the last chart. Here comes Solana. Okay, again, on a 4-hour chart,
Bill,
you know, you have, oh, I'm not sharing. Okay, so on Solana, you have A, B, C, right? And then the downtrend is resuming. You had DeMark 1 through 9. That's called the setup phase. You had the counter trend rally, and this thing is resuming. Okay, if you look at a 90-minute chart of Solana, okay, this recent high was a wave 4 top. Okay, a wave 4 top. And what does that mean? That means there's going to be a new low below the wave 3 bottom. And where's that? My goodness, it's down here at 25. So when I tell you that this thing could disappear quick, I'm not playing. 72 hours to adjust your book. All right, folks, I appreciate all the well wishes. I'm Bill Noble. I will see you soon.